I was just patient, never try skating. Fuck niggas hating.
Let's speak a little bit of facts for a second. Each and every last one of us has a representative that we lead with when we meet somebody. When you go into a job interview, you put on the collared shirt, business casual, depending on the job interview. You speak with class. You leave your slang at home. You try not to curse. And you speak highly of yourself and your superiors, your old supervisors, etc., etc. You know what I'm getting at. You carry yourself in a way that's presentable and in a way that's respectable, because you are trying to gain access to whatever it is, job, sports team, whatever it is that you would like to join. You need to impress them. So you are looking to impress somebody. All of us, every last human being on earth has a representative. Here goes where the caveat is. A lot of us misrepresent ourselves. Having a representative that is used to showcase your abilities to get the job done and your skill set with a little bit of embellishment, but to sell yourself as something that you're actually qualified for, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But a person who will give you misleading information, they don't qualify for that position at all. They don't have intentions on actually sticking around, but they want to put themselves in an overqualifying position in order to gain access to something. That's what I'm referring to in this video when I say she needs to be ghosted. So in this video, I'm gonna help you understand something real quick and easy. It's kind of, going to show you how to expose someone's misrepresentative, so to speak, but representative, and also, some signs you want to look out for that somebody is misrepresenting themselves to you, and give you like an up and up. I was thinking about naming the video like how to dismantle her game part 2, but this one's slightly different but along the same guidelines, but you'll see in a second. All right, so being that we all have representatives and some of us are misrepresenting ourselves, we are underqualified, we do not deserve the position that we're applying for, so we embellish extremely just to gain favor. So a woman is trying to give you the illusion that she is somebody that she is clearly not, so that you would be impressed. Let me go be the first, if not the first, let me be one of many, or one bold enough to say that this is a game that men have been playing for years. And I'm not talking about good men. And not all good men were always good. But like myself, but what I'm trying to say is a dog, a misogynistic man, somebody who has games to play and run and manipulation tactics that they want to use on women. Most men are doing that so that they can gain access to her body. His intentions are strictly sex and intimacy, and then he makes his exit afterwards. And I'm guilty. I've done this before, so I can speak genuinely and purely out of experience when I say this. Okay, so modern women think like these type of men, dogs, misogynistic men. Okay, not the good men. Again, let's be clear. When I say she thinks like men, I'm not talking about good men. Okay. And what I mean by she thinks like men is that she does things that aren't logical. And most women are more emotional than logical anyway, but so that doesn't automatically mean she thinks like a man. But when I say she does things that aren't logical, there's really no rhyme or reason to her tactics. And you kind of like, if you're watching this modern woman, you're going to see things happen that you're going to just be thrown off by because there's no logic. You're like, you didn't even need to do that. Okay. Dogs, misogynistic men are the same way. And I believe that anytime somebody is willing to do something that doesn't make any sense, you don't know why they're doing it, but to them it makes sense. To them there's a method to their madness, and you're left in the dark. That's why it doesn't make sense to you. Hold on with me for a second. You're gonna see something real fast. Second thing is they lie for no reason. This is a pathological liar. And the reason why someone is going to lie for no reason, because lying obviously is to evade or avoid accountability or consequences for their actions that weren't good, right? But to lie for no reason where the truth wouldn't have hurt you, it probably would have even gotten you what you wanted a lot sooner. The reason why someone is going to lie for no reason or become a pathological liar is so that they could maintain a position of power over you, and you not knowing who, by you not knowing who they are, they feel superior to you and they feel in control. This is definitely a tactic used to just stay in the position of control with the people that you are surrounded with. Okay, hold on. Okay, running game. And when we use the word game, we obviously implies lies and fabricating things and embellishing, trying to make themselves look better and look good to you and appeal to whatever it is that they feel like you might, be interested in and willing to invest in, or willing to put your efforts and time and money into. They think that they know what it is that you want, and they want to put on the mask of being what they think you'd want so that you'd want them, right? Running game makes logical sense to a degree, right? You want someone to want you, so you pretend to be what you think they want, or you ask questions and, okay, this person's looking for that, and then you just put on the mask of being that. You're running game, right? And also, this is what misogynistic men have been doing since the beginning of the time. So I know what I'm talking about. Moving along further, hope you're still with me. Only wants the sex. Big. A misogynistic man wants the sex. His main objective is the sex for multiple reasons. He could have been the type who was molested as a child. I had to word that a certain way so it wouldn't get flagged. And because he was molested as a child, he has this insatiable desire and lack of sexual discipline. I'd have to say I fit in that category, if in all transparency. Okay, so my point in saying that is that there's multiple reasons why the main objective is sex. Men, we have high testosterone when we're teenagers, and some of us maintain that, and the other one of us take drugs and things of that nature that boost it. You know what I'm saying? So the drive is always high. So it's like an insatiable desire to get it at all, at any cost. So that's why a man would have that issue. Now, how it correlates with a modern woman is some of them have been molested as children in their early adolescence. Therefore, they have this same issue where they don't understand why in the presence of a man they believe that the only objective is to have intimacy, right? So modern women are thinking like men, and the doggy style men, no point intended, in multiple, if not all, areas of life. I'm about to wrap that one up. So you see, I want to make that point clear to begin with, that when you are dealing with a modern woman, as a man, you are dealing with a woman who has taken on your identity, who has taken on your traits, your way of thinking, your way of doing things. So this should make identifying a modern woman that much easier, because if you're a man and you're self-aware, and you know, and you have done things that you shouldn't have done, and you have gone through the rites of passage in your life, and you are familiar with manipulative tactics and being misogynistic and using and running game, then you'd spot this out immediately. And this video is going to help you to pretty much sift through her misrepresentative. Okay. Next, I would say misogynistic men and modern women alike rack up body counts. It still applies, right? Misogynistic men rack up a body count. They brag about it. You know, they tell all their homeboys. They say, smell my finger. You know, modern women have high body counts because the way that they're thinking is identical to a misogynistic man. This is also due to a lack of morals and sexual discipline. Misogynistic man, modern woman. Okay, so I just had to make sure the first thing I did in this video was show the very strong similarities and correlation between modern woman and man. One and the same. Misogynistic man, modern woman. One and the same spirit, different body parts. Okay. Now that point is made in this video, you're dealing with a woman who thinks like a man. And if you have come from that way of life, then you'd be able to easily point out and identify with her way of thinking. Therefore, you'd be like me. You'd be ahead of the curve. You already know what's to come. You already know what to look out for because you've done it. That was you at one point in time, if not still you to this day. For me, that's not me anymore. But it was me for majority of my life. So I could see it instantly. Okay. They want to play, but they don't want to play with the people who want to play. Let me break that down. They want to play, but they don't want to play with the people that want to play. So if they can tell that you're misogynistic, if they can tell that you lead with sex, if they can tell that you're running game, if they can tell that you act like a bad boy, they try to avoid you. Even though they're doing the same thing. They want to play, but they don't want to play with the men who want to play. There are women who prefer bad boys. Yeah, there are modern women who prefer bad boys, the ones that's outside. You know, the ones that's obviously misogynistic, but that I think that's because they prefer stupid kings. They prefer men who have provisions, some sort of lifestyle that they can provide to her that are clearly led by sex. And she's so deep in the game. She's like, she's a prostitute, right? It's a prostitute. I want what he has. He wants what I have. So I'll entertain him. And that's as easy. I don't have to pretend. But we have another modern woman, and that is the one that needs to be ghosted, that I'm about to articulate with here. That's the one that misrepresents herself. That's the one, like I referred to in a previous video, that comes by way of righteousness. She comes in the name of righteousness. She wants to appear to be this church-going woman, this spiritual woman, this morally grounded woman, this woman who is worthy of a one-on-one monogamous relationship, a woman who wants you to believe that she is faithful, loyal, she has sexual discipline. Let me go further. What you'll notice in this type of woman is she'll tell you things in the beginning like, 1, I'm celibate. 2, I'm dating for marriage. 3, no glove, no love. 4, she'll say things like, I'm not looking for hookups. So what happens is this woman that comes in the name of righteousness comes in the way of giving the illusion that she is morally grounded, someone that isn't for the bad boys, because she wants to give the illusion that anything that a bad boy would want, he can't get it here. Anything that a good man will get, you'll find everything here. I'm everything that you're looking for. I'm everything that you need. It goes right back to my earlier point. To misrepresent yourself as something that is everything that I'm looking for and would need, so that you can gain access to me, but have ill intentions. This woman needs to be ghosted. I know you're catching on. I got something good for you on this one. Man, I feel like a preacher on this one. Church. Now I say here that they want the good ones. They want the men who have made adjustments in their life. They want the men who aren't for the streets. They want the men that is no different from the mindset of a pedophile, short for the more worse name. I have to watch my mouth for the algorithm, but a pedophile, right? He doesn't want to date. He or she doesn't want to date or have intimacy with people of their same age group. They have a thrill of they find thrill in taking innocence away from somebody. This is why it's against the law. This is why it's immoral. It's diabolical and demonic. So you have someone who comes in the name of righteousness, who has a pedophile mentality, who doesn't want the ones that want to play. She wants to play with the ones that don't want to play. She wants the ones who are of sound mind, body, and soul. She wants the one who follow righteous teachings and is disciplined and, makes smart decisions. She has a thrill in taking you and breaking you down and molding you to what she wants. And it's a pedophile mentality. She needs to be ghosted. So what she does in order to gain access to you, she misrepresents herself. She tells you everything that you would think comes with a good woman, but doesn't have any pure intentions. Okay. Now, how do you expose this misrepresentative? How do you spot it out? How do you expose it? How do you get it to come from out from behind there? Let me break it down to you like this. I got 5. And this is something that I just mostly recently did today. I had to go somebody this morning. And I said, let me jump right into videos because I want to keep it hot, fresh off the press. Number 1, actually respect her boundaries. I'm going to go in on this one because I'm going to make it make sense. Listen closely and hold her to her words. Listen closely and hold her to her words. When she is talking, when she's telling you that she's celibate, when she's telling you that no glove, no love, oh, we got to go get tested before we do anything, and oh, I don't want any kids, all of the things that she's claiming up front, you need to be listening to understand, not to respond or to just to act like it didn't mean nothing. You need to be a good listener. A lot of men aren't good listeners because they are thinking with the other head instead of this one. But if this one's cleared out and focused, you need to be listening. When you are listening to this woman break down what it is that she wants, she doesn't want her boundaries, then you understand them and then you respect them. And what it does is people who misrepresent themselves typically want the opposite of what they said. Okay. So in the beginning, you respecting their boundaries is desirable and it gains you favor, and a place in her world. But over time, this will frustrate her. You respecting her boundaries will frustrate her, not because you're doing anything wrong. It's because she knows she put her foot in her mouth. She knows she said she wanted something that she really didn't want. And because you were hyper focused on only giving her that, then this will expose the fact that she never wanted it. Now, it depends on the way you think, because I can hear some man's thoughts thinking like, well, if I meet a woman who is appearing to be a good girl and she's telling me that she wants this and she doesn't want that, and I give her exactly that, that's me being a man that of pure intentions. This will make her frustrated. Listen to what you just said. If she actually wanted it, she would never be frustrated. If she was misrepresenting herself, she'd become frustrated. You are exposing her misrepresentative. Okay? And the reason why you'd want to expose a woman's misrepresentative is to avoid falling in the traps, the snares set by the ones that come in the name of righteousness but with ill intent for you and will simply destroy your life. The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, right? So what if they can't steal your provisions? What if you're too smart to pay a woman's bills that isn't your wife? What if you don't fall for the goofy games? Well, what else could the enemy steal? Oh, it's something else. Your time. You keep entertaining the wrong kind, before you know it, you're out of time. The enemy still won, even though they weren't able to take your provisions and your material items, your money and all of that stuff. You no longer have time to find what God really has, what's for, out there for you. So it's important that you ghost this type of woman. You discard this woman immediately. You don't waste time. You don't give explanations. You don't give her leverage to be able to go back and forth with you and try to convince you that you're the one in the wrong or you're overthinking something. No, you get out of there. Somebody heard me. Okay. Number 2, how to expose her misrepresentative is that you want to reinforce your own boundaries. Naturally, as a man, your boundaries are going to counter her boundaries. So I don't really need to even tell you nothing about that, right? If a woman says that I'm not having sex till I'm married, a woman says I'm celibate, then naturally you're going to say, okay, cool. Well, I'm not finna be doing a whole lot of investing in something that is very heavily guarded. I want to be heavily guarded too. And this is me generalizing how the man's mind works, where he protects himself against someone who appears to need to be protected against you. So if you feel threatened by me and I know I'm not a threat, I'm going to protect myself against you in case you're really the one who's a threat, right? Isn't that the way a man thinks? We protect ourselves against people who feel like they need to protect themselves against us. I told somebody recently, I said, you being nice to me does not give you access into my spirit. You might be able to have a conversation with me, but what actually gives you access into my spirit, into my heart, is transparency and vulnerability and not being judgmental, because we all seek a safe place to reside spiritually, mentally, physically, etc. And when someone is willing to be vulnerable with you and you can feel it, then it makes you lower your guard too. So they're not just being nice to you, they are being themselves, and that makes you more comfortable with being yourself. And then they're not judging you, you're not judging them. You created a spiritual bond with somebody. But when someone is just thinking that I'm just going to be nice to him, I'm just going to charm him, that doesn't get them anywhere. Because you're like, okay, you're being nice to me. You can talk to me because you're, to a degree, you're respecting me. You're being nice to me. But that doesn't mean that I'm a fool because you're nice. Oh. So when it comes to you reinforcing your boundaries, you don't let up on your boundaries and you respect her boundaries. You respecting her boundaries gives you the confidence you need to require respect of someone, of your own boundaries. You're respecting their boundaries. They better respect your boundaries. Okay. So, this is, you're naturally going to have boundaries that protect you against them potentially, right? So you standing on your own boundaries, you're going to see the mask start to slip, and you're going to see the frustration come from them not being able to have their way with you. They set boundaries because the enemy wants to set boundaries, but they want to encroach on your boundaries. They want to jump over your boundaries. They want to dismiss your boundaries, but they want to maintain their own boundaries. How many modern women have you dated? If you dated one or you dated five, you know that's the same story all the way around the board. They got boundaries, but you can't have none. Number 3, you want to control the pace. Okay. People who are manipulative or misrepresentatives of oneself, they typically are in a rush. You're going to hear this all the time, especially when you watch videos on narcissism. Narcissists need to get in and get out before you figure out what their motive was, before you figure out what their intentions are, before you figure out they're married, before you figure out that they're not who they say they are. A manipulative person's go-to is their MO is right now. Got to get in right at their earliest convenience. They are trying to get in and they're trying to get out. If you're controlling the pace, this is going to frustrate them. If you are slowing things down to a pace that you feel safe, this is going to frustrate them. You are going to see them start to squirm. Okay, they're going to become very agitated with you. Number 4, because you've done 1, 2, and 3. Number 4, warning. You want to prepare for the power swapping mind games. Okay, so there's mind games that are used to regain leverage and control over the dynamic between you and them. Those mind games include delayed responding to you. You know, at first they respond very fast and then they start slowing down. They might say, oh, I'm matching your energy because you're slowing things down. They want to match your energy. I got one thing to say about somebody matching my energy. If you were matching my energy, then we both be on a high frequency, because I'd be damned if I drop my frequency low to match yours. And people who claim to have the ability to match your energy are people who are toxic. Because people who set boundaries and respect boundaries, they don't allow people to take them on roller coaster rides, so to speak. You don't allow people to play with you. So if you felt like I was playing with you, you'd stop me in my tracks, because you're like, I'm not going there with you. But if you are willing to go there with me, people who put up with shit are typically full of shit. So at the end of the day, we don't got time for matching of no energy. You set a standard, you leave it at there. If I fall beneath or if you fall beneath, we need to make some readjustments. Okay, so they start with the delayed responding, because now this draws you into them. And now you're like, why is she taking forever to respond to me? Now your focus is on them. You're trying to regain, subconsciously, you're trying to regain your position in their life. They're showing you that you ain't nothing to me. I don't care. Oh, you want to move slow? I'm going to move slower. This is manipulation. Second mind game, that's power swapping mind game, I would say, is intermittent ghosting. When they go missing for a few days, when they go missing for half a day, when they just stop responding at all. This is how they regain your attention. This is a power swapping mind game. Because now it has drawn you into them. Prepare for the power swapping mind games like tiny aggressions. Tiny aggressions is when somebody is willing to argue about any and everything, even if it's something minute, even if it's something irrelevant, even if it's of no significance. They are willing to pick a fight with you. And you're like, what's going on here? Again, this gets your brain back in the state of trying to figure out where they're at. You're back on team them. Ooh, somebody heard that. Another a power swapping dynamic is discrediting the way you think, trying to make you feel crazy because you're upholding some boundary and because you don't think like them. And they're going to say you're just a rare person. Everybody don't think like you. I know a lot of men who do things differently. Of course you do. Those are the men that want to play. Why don't you go play with them since you want to play too? Oh no, you got peafowl in your brain. You want to play with the ones that don't want to play because you think that gives you some kind of upper hand or leverage. This typically happens when a woman has been played so many times that she's determined to be the winner all of a sudden. So she knows playing with those dangerous guys, she's more than likely going to lose. So she wants to play with the guys who don't want to play. And if you don't want to play and I do, well, I'm the winner. Prepare for when she's baiting you into intentional situations that tempt you. Like having you come over so that she could wear something revealing and seductive just to get you outside of your comfort zone, just to get you outside of your discipline, just to get you outside of your stoic, your steadfast behavior, and then you get weak to your flesh, and then she has gotten you. And what's typically going to happen under these circumstances is she's going to get you there, and then she's going to reject you. And rejecting you once she has got you to a very lustful state, you got it. She has all the power. That is a power swapping mind game. So I say from 1 to 3, if you have done those things properly, then number 4 is what you want to look out for. That's the caveat or the warning, disclaimer. That's what's to come. That's what you will see. But then lastly, number 5, as soon as you see the mask slip, as soon as you see the lighting starts, as soon as you see the mind games come, as soon as you see the lies and all the tactics start happening, and it's confirmed in your brain, ghost that woman. Why am I suggesting that you ghost that woman instead of having a conversation that you are able to regain leverage or maybe regain harmony and get back on the same level? Well, she misrepresented herself. She's not even who you think she is. So you trying to get back on the same page, you would have to go back to the beginning and restart. Re-represent yourself as who you really are. And then if that was to happen, which it never would, then you'd be like, oh, you wouldn't be interested in entertaining her at that point anyway, because you'd be like, oh, that's how you want to get down. Secondly, she's never going to come out and tell you who she really is. If that's what she was going to do, she would have told you that from the jump. So you thinking that you're going to regain harmony and regain balance, not going to happen. This is an organic flow that happens when someone misrepresents themselves. If I go back to my initial analogy where you would go to a job interview, if somebody wasn't qualified and you hired them for an IT position at your company and then they don't know nothing about computers, you'd have to send them back to school to learn and get that degree they falsified in order for them to come back to work. Would you do that, or would you just lay them off? Yeah, the latter. Okay, so with a woman who has lied to get you, she organically gets exposed because you are protected. You know how to avoid her tactics. You have gone through life and learned things. You have seen things. That's why you are who you are now. You've made those adjustments in your life because you're like, okay, I see that's not going to really get me anywhere. But what happens though, because you have learned and because you have experienced and done things, you know how to quickly identify people who are doing currently things that you used to do previously. Now you can avoid people like the old you. This is a new version of them, but it's an old version of you. Another reason why I suggest you ghost this person, because attempting to tell them where they went wrong only gives them leverage to try to gaslight you and convince you that you read into something wrong, that you're overthinking. See, you need to go heal somewhere. You're the one that's unhealed because you have trust issues. I didn't do anything. You don't have any proof of anything that you saw. That's not what really happened. And then you start to second guess yourself. And now you want to stick around a little bit, but they just bought more time to finesse you. And then once they see that, okay, he stuck around, they start feeling stupid, dummy. Fell for that? I got some more that you're going to fall for. And once they see that you are smart enough to start catching on to stuff, they're going to heighten their security, so to speak. And the thought of them discarding you first, they have to put that in their mind. They're like, okay, this person's kind of smart, so whatever it is I'm looking to obtain from this person, I better get it now. And once they got it, their attitude is going to shift anyway, to where they're going to not care if you discard them at that point, because they're like, I got everything I wanted out of you, so I don't care. And then one of the last reasons why I would suggest that you ghost this person is because they deserve it. They deserve it. They tried to play with a chosen one. They don't deserve closure. They deserve what you're about to give them, a good old narcissistic injury. But hopefully this video was helpful, and if it was, please give me a like, comment, and or subscribe. But if you are new to my channel, my name is Jerome, and this has been another episode of The Superb Word. And until next time, two of them fingers. All right.